You? Hi, Des. And is that your husband? Hi, John. Welcome. Welcome. Desiree and I were talking about the kids program, and while I was talking to her, I got this download, this information that said, we're trying to do Enlightened Theater, we're keeping it at a certain age rate, and we weren't able to get that age rate in. And then I said, well, why don't we do Enlightened Theater, Jen, for the kids that we have? Why don't we create something that works for the kids that we have? So, bless you, Desiree, because that download came in, and that's exactly how we're going to create our bliss. Good or good? Now, let's keep going, and what's going to happen is when we do the play and everybody comes and the family comes, they're going to be blown away. I've done a lot of theater work with a lot of kids, and every single time the parents and the grandparents cry, and they come up to me and they go, my God, you've saved my kid's life. I hadn't saved her life. But their children found ways to feel magnificent. I was in a middle school program where I was teaching theater, and this boy, very thin, tall, lanky, certainly didn't fit the common look in school. He was bullied like crazy. His mom sent him into my theater group, and he ends up playing one of the leads in the play, and his mom sent me a 3-page letter saying that he was going to kill himself. But when he got into the theater, and he got all that applause, and all that support, he became cool after the theater, after the program. And I will never forget that. Never. That's the power of giving our kids the kind of empowerment that they already have and teaching them how to build on it. But here's the thing, if parents are not emulating and modeling those ideas and values, it gets a lot harder for them to do it, right? So this is sort of pretending it's for the kids, but it's for the parents. Makes sense? So we do a lot of love and logic. So we're talking today about create your bliss. Are you awake? Yeah. How can you not be after this great music you've heard this morning? Yeah, everybody's awake and ready? We're talking about creating your bliss. What is, I want to hear, because I don't just stand up here and talk, you know that. What is your bliss? What do you consider for yourself to be bliss? What's your bliss? Your garden. So when we look at a beautiful garden, it feels what? What's it feel? What's it feel? Blissful, beautiful. It's magnificent, all the colors, and it's like magical. What else is your bliss? How do you feel and create your bliss? Where do you get it? Nature, absolutely. Out, on the river, up in the mountains, on a lake, at the ocean, walking out there in the beautiful redwoods and the trees. How could we not feel that bliss? It is magical. Where else do you feel your bliss? Art. That's why we had that title, Clarity Academy, of spiritual arts. Because art forms, whatever way it is expressed, is spirit working through us. Because God is the doer. What is it? God is the doer. We hear it again, you guys are quiet. God isn't going to play full out. If you play full out, you'll get so much more out of it. You'll walk out this door all excited. Who wants to be excited when they walk out the door? Yeah, me too. Me too. Man, I need the help too. So, creating your bliss, what is the number one thing that gets in the way of our bliss? Ego. Edging God out. Get it? So that's what the ego's job is to do, is to play its little self as a big self, but it doesn't do a very good job. Because the big self can handle everything beautifully and gracefully. The little self creates a lot of what? Drama, issues, behaviors. So we are so excited. This Wednesday night class that we have now integrated the advanced levels with all the levels all in one night. How many of you have actually read or studied Paul Ferrini? Hands up. I'm so excited. I love it when I bring something new to the group. Because every time I do, I am blessed. Because you guys get all excited and you get information that improves your life, gives you ideas of what to do, of how to have greater health, how to have deeper friendships, how to be more abundant, and how to be living a more purposeful life. So take a look up here. In order to create your bliss, not yet, sweetie, thank you. In order to create your bliss, you must first heal your life. Why? To open the channels. What happens if we are wounded or in some kind of a pain? How many people have experienced wounds or pains in their lives? Yeah, play pull out. All right? So what happens to the bliss idea if we have pain in our body?
You're not open to it.
How can we feel it if we're feeling pain, right? The pain gets in the way. If we have health issues, how do we create our bliss? You got to heal the health issue. Very, very good. So here are three primary, and this is right out of Paul Freedy's book we're going to be doing on Wednesday nights. It's just amazing. There are three primary commitments that one needs to make in order to create happiness in our life. See, happy. That is an interesting idea, the word happy. What does the word happy mean to you?
Not sad.
Not sad. Very good. Joy. What's happy mean to you? Peaceful. Blissful.
Contentment.
Contentment. Absolutely.
Harmony.
Harmony. What else? Sorry. Freedom from attachment. Well, that's the thing. If we could just get rid of our attachments, we would all just zip right off this planet.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We would just be completely enlightened in 3 seconds. All we have to do is get rid of our attachments. Why is that so hard? Because of the little ego. It sits right here. It sits right here. Marianne Williamson put it right here. And she told me, put your ego here because if it's in my head, I can't see it coming. But if I put my ego here, I can go, shh. You'll get your way later. No doubt. The three primary ways, number one, to create happiness in your life, show up for life. This is why, this is not one of those places where people come in, sit down, good, go out the door. We got to create our happiness. In order to be happy, it takes will. It takes a willingness to choose to be happy. Even if the appearance looks scary, we can choose to be happy anyway. Why? How? Changing, I heard it, changing our state. So a lot of these guys have done a bunch of seminars with me, and we talked about, they know this, that we have been raised to believe that our emotional state runs us. That if we're upset, we can't stop it. That it runs us. What we've learned and are practicing around here is to be state shifters, state changers. The minute that I feel down or restricted or tight, that's my cue to go get some breath, go into nature, listen or play a little music, and come back out and be happy. I'll be happy because of the blue sky. I'm happy because I'm breathing. I'm happy because I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful life. I'm happy because I have a magnificent academy filled with people who just want to love one another. Good or good?
Great.
That's the point. Yes? Yes? You just want to love one another. Turn to the person on your left and right and say, I love you. I love you. Do it again. Make sure you've gotten everything. I love you. I love you. I love you. Absolutely, positively. I love you. And I adore and love you. See, here's the thing. If we don't get out of our way and get joyful and embrace happiness, then the body cannot and will not heal. It can't. If the vibration is dense and heavy, I just put on my physics hat. If it's dense and heavy, what does it do? Pulls down the energy and literally anchors us in the belief that there is something wrong with us. Then the emotional state goes into depression, and then the depression creates in itself, out of itself, of itself, more depression. And then you know that really ridiculous thing some of us do. We call up our friends and tell them how depressed we are. Oh, let me just tell you how terrible things are. Ain't it awful? And then our friends go, yeah, it's really awful. And then they call their friends, and the ripple effect has happened. Or they post it on Facebook. Worse yet. So if we change our state to happy and we call our friends and say, I am so happy today. And I'm so happy that you're home, you're answering the phone, and I just want you to know how much you mean to me. You are somebody important in my life. And I am happy about that today. Is that something you guys could do? Is that so odd? It's not that odd. All we gotta do is do it. That's it. It's just be willing to embrace the grace. Ooh.
Write that down.
Dan, he's our spiritual rapper. Embrace the grace. You got it? All right. Stay tuned, everybody, because Dan's going to be pulling down. He's going to be throwing down a rap about embrace the grace. Because that's what happens when we change our state from negative, sad, mad, hurt, wounded, betrayed, shamed, blamed, all of those really low behaviors that draw us into the depths of despair. Once we shift those and we did you know you're an alchemist? Turn to the person to your left and say, ooh, you're an alchemist. You're an alchemist. You're an alchemist. 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 You are an alchemist. You know why? Do you believe me? We create. That's you're so brilliant. We create. We're alchemists because whether it's good or bad, right or wrong, in or out, we create it. And because we create it, guess what we get to do? Live in it, and if we don't like it, we can change it. See, the whole thing about the study we're doing on Wednesday nights is really important. You know, I was diagnosed with a really ridiculous thing in the body, and I was talking to Desiree about it yesterday, and I was thinking about how can I get bliss if I am hurting and feeling sick in the body? Can't get there. So what do? How do we heal our wounds? Whether they are emotional or physical or both. Using happiness as a medication. Did you take your happy pill today?
I'm here.
Yeah, we're here. You walk in that door, you take your happy pill, that's for sure.
I got my coffee.
Yeah, it's right in the coffee, baby. Gotta do that. So showing up for life really means like that wonderful surgeon who wrote the neurosurgeon.
Wheel?
By Stroke of Insight. If you have not read that, what's her name?
Jill Bolte Taylor.
Jill Bolte Taylor. So Jill Bolte Taylor, who was a neurosurgeon who lost everything in her ability to comprehend life, the only way she could heal was to feel the love and grace around her. And she could literally feel the energy that came into the room. And she didn't know who her mom was, but she did know. You know how she knew? She felt it. And she made a full recovery. This is about us healing our wounds. No one else is going to do it for us. We must show up for life. Show up in the community. Show up in your family. And stand up and say, I'm a happy person. And by the way, you are who you hang out with. So if you can't get the people around you happy, find somewhere else to go. Say, I love you, I hope you get happy, and then go somewhere else. Okay? Stop escaping and running away, avoiding and making excuses for why you cannot show up for life. Now in the seminars we talk a lot about reasons and excuses. We've all had them. I've done it, haven't you? Just as a list of reasons and excuses why I haven't or why I can't or why I didn't. Those reasons and excuses, what they do is they get caught inside the body, the density of the body, and they begin to create discord in the body. When discord is created in the body, it creates itself, in itself, out of itself, of itself. It becomes dis-ease. Why? Because God couldn't get our attention by simply giving us a beautiful day. We had to go through Earth School classes to see that when we don't change our state and we don't show up, we don't feel well. Another thing that Paul talks about, no more excuses. Yes, please. Take responsibility for your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. If you take responsibility, you guys, and say, you know what? I'm not in a good space today. I have this thing I say to, everybody knows I do this. If I am not in a good space, I will say to the people around me, I am not safe for children and other living things. And what that means is, I gotta go outside and hug a tree really quick and change my state. Because if I stay in there with a negative attitude, it's gonna create itself out of itself, of itself. It's gonna seek itself out in others. It will pull to it, the law of attraction. It will pull to it. Exactly like a radio station. Remember the old radios where you got static? Some of you are too young, but you guys remember? You know, you're trying to tune into the station, and it's like, oh, almost there, almost there. And then you get the station, and it's got clarity right there, and all the other people in the world, they're all tuning into the people that like that music, they're tuning into the same station. Well, that's exactly what happens when we are in the world and we show up. We send out a vibrational frequency that others are tuning into. And if we are not taking responsibility and showing up and creating our bliss, then we are not on the right radio station. We are creating something that the world has too much of already, and we're going the wrong way. True, true. We have to heal ourselves. Say, I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to heal myself. Turn to the person next to you and say, you're healed. You're healed. You're healed. You're healed. You're healed. And it's a father energy. It's a, you are healed. And you are healed the moment you recognize that you and I are responsible for everything in our life. There are no victims in this world. No victims. This is a world that a victim makes out of themselves. And I have a right to say that. When you read my book, you'll get it. But some of you know. I've had a pretty tough one. And what my Earth School classes, I signed up to master trust and faith in this life. Can you imagine the Earth School classes I could be getting? Because in order to know something, you have to know it's what? Opposite. You got to experience it. And it's like, no, I got to experience it and get through it and beat it and win it and come out of it, on top of it, and take responsibility for it. Good or good? Can I get a yes? Yes. That's right. So then, once we take responsibility for it, and we take responsibility for our experiences and recognize that we are one with the infinite. We are the God part, the part to the whole to the part. And you and I have an ability to create our universe. And we do that best when the body is healthy. True or true? And if the body is not healthy, it is a message. It is not a punishment. Please don't misunderstand. If there is pain in the body, of course the miracle says it is a cry for love. It's a wake-up call, Reverend Karen. It's saying, come on, wake up now. Because what happens if we don't wake up? Sometimes we don't wake up. That's the thing. Energy has to know itself and create itself out of itself. And if it can't if it can't resolve itself, it will simply dissolve itself. Ooh, I'm giving you some good ones. Dissolve itself. Yes? And when it dissolves itself, that's called transition or death. We don't have to do that. We can choose to be happy. We can choose that no matter what we're feeling in the body, to really be happy for what is right in the body and begin the process of physician, heal thyself. Repeat it after me. Physician, heal thyself. That's what this is all about. This is a how-to take responsibility, flow with Christ consciousness, and be able to heal ourselves to the best of our ability, and in doing so, we find our bliss. Because the happier we are, hey, if I'm not feeling well, I don't get to go on a kayak down the river. And if I ain't going down a kayak on a river, then that's not very much fun. If I'm not going for a hike or a walk or out doing something fun or dancing or singing or playing instruments, then I am obviously not healed. Because those are the things that bring me bliss. If I'm not playing with my golden retriever because I hurt too much to do it, then I'm not finding my bliss. So in order to find my bliss, here we go. Stop believing that others can make you happy. This is a big one. It scares a lot of people. Could you take a little, take me a little reverb down, please? I'm getting dizzy from it. Thank you.
I think it was the bliss.
Maybe it is a bliss. I think it was a bliss. So, you guys, I know that you all, like I do, believe that an outcome can make us happy. And on some levels, it does. But if we are attached to that outcome making us happy, if we think this person is going to make us happy, if we think if our kids just behave a certain way, then I'll be happy. If I have just the right amount of money, then I'll be happy. If I get acknowledged, then I'll be happy. You see, I could go on and on, but we have to get out of here at some point. But you get the point? True? So in order to do that, I have to stop believing that you or anyone can make me happy. Because if we can't see in another that which is not in ourselves. Do you get that? So if I see pain and suffering, then I will tune in to the pain and suffering radio station and send out the frequency and draw it back to me. Who wants to do that? Yet many of us do it unconsciously. It's not, we don't mean to, but it's unconscious. When we take responsibility for our behaviors and we get happy, then we tune into the happy station. Once we're on the happy station, we're dancing around. We're happy. True?
Sure.
So he says, only you can create happiness in your life. Do you believe that?
Yes.
How much do you believe that? Be here Wednesday night, you guys. I'm telling you, the whole group. Let's get 40, 50 people in here and really learn from one another, because the teacher and the student change places every moment. And you all have something to teach me. You all have something to teach each other. God's unique expression as you cannot be duplicated anywhere else. You are the infinite child of God. You are the expression of God that no one else can be but you. And when we get in, and whether you're in this class, if it's not in this class, then get in some class. And get in a class where you are learning to heal thyself. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I continue to do. Be open, be ferociously curious. What's that mean? Be ferociously curious.
Never stop learning.
Huh? All in. What else?
Never stop learning.
Hunger for
Be
knowledge.
open. What else?
Hunger for knowledge.
Oh, just ravenous for knowledge.
Yeah.
Ravenous for knowledge. What?
Devour it.
Devour it. Yes, absolutely. When we can really get to this place where we understand that there's stuff in the world that we don't know. Did you know that you don't know everything? What? We don't know everything. sorry. I don't mean to bum you out. But none of us knows everything. But all of us know a lot. So if we are ferociously curious, then we are interviewing one another. Teach me, teach me, teach me, teach me, teach me. And when we do that, we create a community of enlightened beings. Good. And now our behaviors match the ones that we say that we want. Now we're able to go out in the world and walk our talk. You know, just sitting on Facebook posting a bunch of spiritual stuff over and over and over and over again, that's not going to make somebody spiritual. You know this, right? I mean, they're beautiful. I love them. I thought, oh, how sweet. Oh, how beautiful. And I like them, and I like them, and I like them. But the thing is I think a lot of folks believe that if they keep posting it, that somehow they'll become it. And maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe that will work for them. But for me, it's got to be in the world. With you and me together. I want to post it with you. I want to get with you and talk about spiritual principles and how we can serve one another. I want to talk about these amazing ideas we're getting on Facebook and put them to work right here in the community. Good. That's the thing, is to walk the talk is to truly be kind and compassionate to people. To walk the talk is willingness to be loving and compassionate. See, this is all, I don't have to look at the book, I don't have to look at anything. It's going to be a lot about kindness and compassion. What would happen if you and I were kinder and more compassionate today than we were yesterday? Absolutely, our universe. See, we create our universe, right? So if we can be more kind and more compassionate, they have a saying, and I've heard Ron and other people say, spot it, you got it. You know, if you spot something and you say, oh, I don't like that, that's because you cannot see in another that which is not in yourself. So when we see something in somebody and we judge it, all we're doing, yeah, remember this one? Everyone knows this one. We point a finger at somebody, but guess what? There's 3 fingers pointing right back at me. And so we have to recognize that the easiest way to get beyond that is to simply be kind. Just be kind. It's not a lot of work. It's just choosing to change your state. And it's just choosing to be ridiculously loving. And it's choosing to be ferociously curious and want to know about your brothers and sisters around you. And it's the ability to step off the curb, step off the cliff, and know that you shall truly fly if you are compassionate and kind to one another. It's the most beautiful thing. I love it. What do you feel it when you hug somebody and you? What if a spaceship came down and took your favorite people away? Right now. Have you told them how much you love them? Have you told them how much they mean to you? Have you gone around to people that you maybe not know so well and say, hey, I want to get to know you a little better. So who are you? Where are you from? Hey, you're awesome at what you do. I want to just give you a hug and let's be happy. You know what? That's my idea of life. People can call it what they want to. For me, it's spirituality. It's joy. Being in joy. And that way when things go away, we don't have to fall apart. We get to go, recreate myself blissfully, in a blissful state. And I love this, what he says here. How willing are we? Did you know that the will comes from here? It's the 3rd chakra. It's yellow in nature. It's the power that we pull. Like singers, we sing from here. So what the will here is the willingness to go into uncharted waters and find amazing little treasures. And knowing yourself different than you know yourself now. And while you're out there, you get to meet other people. And you get to find other ways to express yourself. For ye are gods. Ye truly are gods. How surprised are you right now? Everybody go like this. Woo! Hey, let me tell you, is it me too? Am I talking about the surprise we got, or is that somebody else? Who's talking about that big surprise we got this week? I'm going for it.
You are.
I am. So we get this thing in the mail from United. I get a call from United Way, and they say, Dr. Kim, we need your nonprofit information. I'm like, for what? And she says, well, you got a donation from the United Way. And I thought, wow, that's really sweet. The United Way will take, if you give money to the United Way, they will then tithe to who you believe you are spiritually fed from, or whatever it is that makes you happy. And so Alice Scott, who knows Alice Scott? Alice Scott, she's Saint Alice Scott today. Alice Scott, over time, came up with $1,200 that came to us out of the blue from United Way. Just like that. So we praise United Way, and we praise Alice and Patrick, because they are showing their spiritual leadership by funding the very thing that has helped them become who they are today. That's magnificent. That's what tithing does. It's an investment in the self, in the spiritual self. So if we're not willing to take chances, the saddest thing, you guys, I've got, my in-laws are 90, and they're at the end of their lives. They're in the 11th hour. And the saddest thing is that my mother-in-law is so unhappy. You know why? Because she didn't do the things she wanted to do. And it breaks our hearts. We just want to whisk her away to Disneyland or something. Hey, we should do that. We should whisk her away. And she's on, crutches. And when she was here, she was dancing at our wedding. And she's just the most awesome person. And she's also very sad because she's realized at 90 years old, there's a whole bunch of stuff that she wasn't willing and wasn't courageous enough to step into the unknown and experience something. So here's my challenge for you. To create your bliss. Well, let me ask you this. Have any of you guys ever done something a little scary and you did it well and you were really glad after you did it? What's that feeling? Excitement. Powerful.
Feel the fear.
Overwhelming joy. What?
Feel the fear and do it anyways.
Yeah, feel the fear and push past it. Do it anyways.
Do it again.
Do it again. And do it again. Thank you, Mike. Because the thing is that if we don't jump out and just have the faith and the courage to try something new, to meet new people, to try new things, to be ferociously curious, then we cannot create our bliss. And the core of our bliss is first and foremost our health. When we are healthy, we can become bliss makers. Just like that. So our goal in these series that we're doing, and we have a whole workbook, a huge workbook with this, and I'm so excited because I'm actually taking the class as much as I'm teaching the class, because that's what I do, is I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to heal everything these doctors have said I need to heal, and I'm going to be a living, walking example of that, just like Jeff is. I'm going to be able to do it. I'm doing it now. I'm standing before you right now in a blissful state. So in love with you. So in love with love. That kindness and compassion is going to be a high vibrational frequency that is going to tune in to the radio station where others will join me in bliss and the healing shall begin. Good or good?
Good.
So what we know today, your challenge, is if there is a wound, whether it be psychological, emotional, spiritual, physical, whatever it is, then come and help us heal. Come do it. Show us how. Be the example in the world. And then we get into the bliss stuff, which is super fun. All we gotta do is physician heal thyself. Turn to the person next to you and say, I am healed. I am well. You are well. I am well. You are well. I am well. You are well. And that's exactly, there's a thing. Wow. Do I have that music stand right there? The thing is, do you guys know Do you know why beautiful things happen? Do you know why? Do you know why the beauty in nature just waits for us? Just stands before us? Do you know why you love when you love somebody? Do you know why you love them? Where it comes from? The thing is the love and compassion we feel each other happens when we let go and we let God and we allow ourselves to become deeply compassionate. I got something for you. It's perfect for what we're doing. I don't know why the sky is so blue, and I don't know why, but I'm so in love with you. But if there were no music, then I would not get through. I don't know why I know these things, but I do. I don't know why, but somewhere dreams come true. Yeah, and I don't know how, but there will be a place for you. And every time you look that way, I would lay down my life for you. I don't know why I know these things, but I do. I don't know why, but someone's gonna make you cry. And I don't know how, but I will get you by. I'll try, 'cause they're not trying to that if there were no music, then I would not get through. I don't know why I know these things, but I do. I don't